So here's the finished product. We've got this vacuum stand for a broomstick style vacuum. This happens to be a Dyson V6 Beast, I think it was called, something like that. Anyway, it fits really well. It's pretty solid, and this is the style where you have to kind of raise to release the vacuum from the charger, and there's no problem. So I did that one-handed. So overall, the utility of this stand is excellent. I think the nice steel finish and the floor stand, all that's great. So from a utility standpoint, I think there's a 5-star. Well, maybe let's say a 4-star. And I'm going to get into some issues. So the first issue is the plug. You basically have two openings. One that is behind the charger that I mounted, so it's back in there. And then it runs down through and comes out at the bottom. And you've got these little rubber grommets that you put in place on the cord before you start to feed through. So first issue is, in the instructions, it tells you to put all of this together and then feed this through. Well, I don't know of any human that would be able to do that. Once you get to this point, the other end of this wire gets gummed up in here. You would have to be insanely accurate to feed it through. So I ended up having to take all these two sections apart again, run the wire through, which was a real pain in the ass because of these other screws that are in there. So what I would recommend, they should rewrite their instructions. You should run this through the 3 pieces while they're all separate, then put in the screws that hold in this small kind of butterfly bracket, and then put in the final screws. So I'll show you that on the instructions, but I would skip that step, do it the right way. Other things, why is this white instead of silver? Everything else is this nice silver that matches everything. Why put the white cap? That's just a design fail. Same thing with these guys. Why are these white? They should have just been the same color. And then furthermore, the box shows that I should get 4 of these. I only got 3, so you can see I've got a missing one here. Not the end of the world, because I'm using the built-in or the integrated tool holders here, but it would have been nice to get what I was promised. And then I'm going to include some photos in this review, but putting this entire thing together was pretty simple, again, other than the flaws I just pointed out in the instructions. Sorry, let me back up. The other thing that's missing on this is the fact that this is all the way at the bottom means that you have to have a wall plug that's at the bottom, which is, fairly common. Most plugs are going to be at that lower level. In my particular instance, both here and at one of my other homes, I'm plugging in at washer dryer level. In this case, it's a internet box, but this is the plug I'm trying to use. You can see I don't have another plug in this closet. So now I'm going to have to run an extension cord down to that level to plug it in. I would have liked to have seen a couple of these, maybe another one here or at the top here, so that you would have some options as to where to pull your plug through. So that's a little nitpicky, but that would have been a great design enhancement. So now I'm going to have to go ahead and run a extension to plug it in. But what I was saying about putting this thing together, it took longer to put that one screw in than it did to put the entire rest of this thing together. It's mainly because of the tools that they give you. And so you can see on the directions here, and this is the tool they give you, is this little Allen wrench with a screwdriver bit, end, right? But when you go to try and turn the long screw that mounts the vacuum, there's no way to do it because the hex is the short end and the screw is the long end, and so you can't turn that thing. It takes forever. Fortunately, I had one of my own the same size, but do yourself a favor and see if you can find one that is straight, or at least that's typical with the long end as well, so that you can easily turn that thing. It took forever back and forth trying to get it to screw in, and the same thing for that bottom screw on the mount. And again, here's where I'm talking about. They're showing you all the way through step 5, you're putting these things all together. Step 6, 7, it's all together, put the cap on top. Now they're showing you to thread that thing through, and I'm just telling you there's no way you're getting that cord to fish through these joints. It's not going to happen. And then also there you can see I was supposed to have 4 of those brackets. I only have 3. So a number of flaws on this thing, but the utility, once it's put together, and customizing it a little bit using some of my own tools, like I would also recommend using just a screw gun or drill rather than this chintzy little thing. If you can get past those things, the utility of this is great. The white brackets here are not going to bother me too much, but that white cap, item G there, is going to bother me a lot, so I'll probably end up painting it or doing something. He just looks a little ridiculous.
Hi, this is my video review on this Dyson vacuum stand, and here it is all put together. Very sturdy, quality is amazing. It's really thick metal down here. It was easy to put together for sure, with the exception of not using the directions because they were not very good. So I have a Gen 5 Detect. Keep that in mind. I don't know about any other model. I just know about my own, that this cord right here is very thick. All right. And this piece right here is from my vacuum. It does not come with the stand. So the cord, because it's that thick, I did not know that it wasn't going to fit through here. Once you have it assembled, you're supposed to turn it upside down, put the cord through, and it's supposed to just come right up. Well, no, that did not happen. The reason it didn't happen is because right in the middle right here, there are pieces that are attached that doesn't allow that thick piece to come through. So I had to disassemble. So it took me about an hour. Wasn't thrilled about that. However, it worked and it came through and I was able to put it up here. So awesome in that sense. It does have the 4 hooks that come with it. So I've got some of my accessories on there, and then I've got this high up so that when I place my battery on there, it's not touching the ground, and I can actually put my other accessory down there as well. So it really is nice. It's nice and sturdy, as you can see. Yeah, so directions, taking half a point off for that. But in the meantime, it's going to be a 5-star because I can't adjust it to a 4.5. But just keep that in mind, please, with the instructions. And then also these little rubber pieces. Make sure that you put that on the bottom first, because I made the mistake of not putting it on because I didn't notice that it showed those pieces to put on. And so I had to make a slit up at the top right here and then do it that way. So not a big deal, it's there, but just make a note of that. All right, make it a great day.
stand is great for holding all of your accessories for your vacuum cleaner. The one thing that I've noticed is that it is a little wobbly, but so far it's being very durable and it's perfect because it fits inside of my closet.